Hello, today we're going to show you a recipe for making quick and super easy donuts made out of pancake mix. And this is something that everybody will have the ingredients in their pantry, and it's really easy to do. Because this is such an easy recipe, we're actually going to do two versions of the recipe using the same pancake mix to make these donuts. There's basically 5 ingredients to make these delicious donuts, and we're going to provide these versions, one for chocolate cake donuts and the other one for cinnamon coffee cake donuts. Bake time, including decorations, about 30 minutes. The ingredients that you'll need for the cinnamon coffee cake donuts are the following: 1 1/2 cup of pancake mix, 2/3 cup of Coca-Cola or Pepsi, it's your preference on any cola product. And those are the 2 primary ingredients that we'll use for the actual donut mix. And now for the donut coating, we'll need 1/2 cup of sugar and we'll need 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. And that should be everything you need for the coffee cake donuts. Now, after you've assembled all your ingredients, you'll next need to find either a muffin pan or a cupcake pan in your pantry that you can use to make these donuts. Now, if you're adventurous, you can order online an actual donut pan. Since these are baked items, you will be using a pan of either a cupcakes or muffin pan or a donut pan to actually make these items. So once you've assembled the muffin pan, we're going to actually show you how to turn the muffin pan into a donut pan by using pasta. And we're going to coat the pasta with butter or margarine, and this will allow you to actually make the beautiful donut shape. As you can see here, I have a muffin or cupcake pan that we're going to use as the foundation for making these donuts. It's a non-stick pan that has the typical 12 units for the actual donuts. So we'll be making 12 donuts at a time. Now, in order for this to be effective, I'm going to use some margarine, and I'm going to have to coat the inside of each of these compartments to put the donut mix in. And so I'm going to go ahead and slice up some margarine, put that into the donut pan, or what will be the donut pan, and put it in here in the cupcake pan. I'm going to add a little bit more. And then you're going to have to use your fingers, and you're just going to sort of coat the inside of each of these containers to make sure that it's effectively non-stick. The next stage in our preparation to make these donuts is to use a pasta shell for the centerpiece of the donut. Since we're using a muffin pan, there's no centerpiece in there, so we're going to use a generic pasta called rigatoni. Rigatoni can be found in pretty much any big box store, and it's a nice pasta shell that can be used because it has a center hole in it, which makes it a perfect item to be used in the middle of each of the muffin pans. So what we're going to do is take these rigatoni shells, and we're going to coat each one of them with a little bit of margarine, and we're going to place these rigatoni shells in the center of each of the muffin pans. So here I go. I'm going to coat these and actually use the margarine, or you can use butter, to actually put the rigatoni and prop it up in the center of each of these muffin pans. This is a beautiful way to create this donut shape out of a muffin pan, and you'll need about a dozen of these rigatoni pasta shells for the complete perfection of this particular item in preparation. When you're finished, you'll have 12 individual containers, each with a rigatoni in the middle, that will make a perfect donut shape for our donuts. Let's start with the donuts. To start these donuts, we're actually going to start with the donut coating first. So we're going to need about 1/2 cup of sugar, and we're going to put this into its own mixing bowl. Then we're going to need 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. And these are pretty good sized tablespoons that we're going to put in there. I've already put them into a special container here that I just already pre-made, and I'm going to put that in, and I'm going to start mixing it. Once we have the cinnamon and sugar, 1/2 cup, mixed together, we'll have a combined sort of mixture that we can start liberally putting into each of the individual donut units, or the muffin pan units right here. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit, and the margarine or butter is actually going to act as an adhesive, keeping it together. Once we have these two combined together, we have a nice uniform tray of individual donuts with the coating. Now we're ready to actually make the donuts. You'll need 1 1/2 cup of a pancake mix. I'm using Hungry Jack, but you can use any pancake mix as long as it has everything you need except water. I'll go ahead and actually put it into the bowl, and then I'm ready for my next step. Step 2 is 2/3 cup of Coca-Cola or Pepsi. your choice of soda. I'm using Coca-Cola. It has a nice caramel flavor. It has vanilla in it. So those are ingredients that already come with the cola. So I'm going to go ahead and put that into the mixture. And this is in substitute of water. Now there's sugar and salt and caffeine with this, but these are donuts, so it's going to make this a nice, rich donut dough that we'll be able to use. I'm using a 12-ounce can of Coca-Cola, so I am mixing this as I go to about half of the can is used. And so I'm going to keep pouring that in. And one of the other benefits of using a cola is it's a substitute for yeast. There's already carbonation in the Coca-Cola or in the Pepsi that's going to help give rise to these donuts when we start baking them. You want to mix the pancake mix and the cola together until you have a nice sort of creamy, almost smooth pancake mix. And I quote, smooth is what you want. You do not want something lumpy. And then you're going to take that smooth batter and you're going to start putting that into each of the individual containers on the muffin pan. And I use a spoon to do this because it makes it a little bit more precise. To make the best donut shapes out of the muffin containers, you want to fill about halfway on each of the individual units. Once you do, you'll have something that looks like this. Each of them have sort of a donut shape. Now we're going to take the remaining amount of the cinnamon and sugar mixture, or at least a good chunk of it, and sprinkle that liberally on each of the individual units for the actual donuts. To bake the donuts, you want to actually use and set the oven at 375 degrees, preferably for 15 minutes. 20 minutes turns out to be just a little bit too long and the donuts come out a little rubbery. So use 15 minutes to be safe. While those donuts are cooking, we want to go over the second recipe, the chocolate cake donuts. The ingredients for this one is going to be 1.5 cups of pancake mix, 2/3 cup soda or cola Pepsi of your choice, a 1/2 cup of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Now all those ingredients are mixed together in one bowl. The coating is going to be 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. In this, we're going to actually start and do that first. The first step of the chocolate cake donuts is very similar to the cinnamon donuts or the coffee cake donuts. You're going to want to take a muffin pan and coat it liberally in each of the individual units. Then you're going to want to put a pasta shell in the middle of each of those units with a little margarine or butter on that as well. Then I'm going to take a generic bag of chocolate chips. I'm going to start with the coating first. I'm going to liberally sprinkle the chocolate chips in each of the individual units to be the base for the chocolate chip or chocolate donuts. Just like we did with the cinnamon coffee cake donuts, we're going to want to set the oven at 375 degrees for 15 minutes, not 20 minutes, for these chocolate cake donuts. That's going to give you the best result. Once we've baked these donuts for about 15 minutes, we'll pull them out of the oven and they'll look like this. This is a great demonstration of how the shape stays with the actual pasta shell in the middle. We'll just let it cool and then push the pasta shell out to get these beautiful donut shapes. That's how easy it is to make these donuts. I hope you enjoy this recipe and give it a try. It's extremely easy. Thank you for attending this virtual class for ESDN.